So I owned a Canon C200 for a little over 3 years. It was a camera that totally transformed my career and really took my filmmaking to the next level because I was finally able to experiment, shoot my own work, produce a really high quality 4K raw image. The camera came down in price $1,000 during the time that I owned it. But the total cost of ownership of that camera over that 3 years was actually less than $1 a day. I bought the camera for around $5,000 and sold it for just under $4,000. Looking through my records, I realized that I'd done almost $200,000 worth of work with the camera over that time. So in this video, I want to talk about how you can get yourself a high-end cinema camera for less than $1 a day. We absolutely obsess about price of cameras versus other cameras and cameras versus the day rate or cameras versus the rental price. But very few people actually talk about cost of ownership. The Panasonic AVA-1, which was available at the same time that the C200B launched, didn't hold its value nearly as well. Even though it was a pretty great camera. It didn't have autofocus and it didn't have RAW. And so other cameras came out quicker. Panasonic released newer cameras that overdid the AVA-1. But it's very difficult to look into the crystal ball and understand which camera will hold its price and where you'll be able to sell it when you want to upgrade or when you want to get rid of the camera for whatever reason. Camera manufacturers are caught in this strange bind of wanting to release new cameras with new features to keep up with other camera manufacturers and to make new buyers happy, but they also don't want to annihilate the used camera market. If you bring out something that is way better than your cameras you've already done for less money, you basically strand all the people, your paying customers, with cameras they won't be able to sell for anything close to what they bought them for. And so Canon gets a lot of crap for the cripple hammer where they're, leaving things out of otherwise good cameras, but they also want to protect their buyers from obsolescence. The first thing to think about when you're buying a camera to sell later is it a trusted brand? Canon's, Sony's, Panasonic, I guess with the exception of the AVA-1, hold their value much better than newer cameras and specialty cameras because the market for big brands is larger, and so the secondary market is also larger. It also helps if you yourself have a large network of people that you can potentially sell cameras to. You can always put them on eBay or Facebook Marketplace, but you get a better price if you're selling it to a friend because they know that you've looked after the camera and they're not going to buy a lemon. It's strange that you can always sell a camera to a friend for more money than you can sell it to a stranger. The fact remains that when you sell to a friend, you're essentially selling it with a guarantee that if it dies straight away, you'll make them whole somehow or risk your friendship. The second step to maintaining the value of your gear is using something like a cage or something that the camera can go inside to protect it from the kind of cosmetic wear, especially to the tripod plate mount, that when you use something a lot really kind of gets scuffed up. A camera that works otherwise fine, say a C200, but has a lot of cosmetic damage, maybe because it was owned by a rental house, will sell for 20 to 30% less than a pristine camera, even though the hours might be the same. Another thing to hold the value of your camera is not using, wacky third-party things like a solid pod where you're, when they originally came out, you had to actually cut off the card gate on the camera to insert them. Now they've since got better, but you're introducing another point of failure and another point of possible damage to your camera because you're straying outside what the manufacturer intended the cameras used to be. Especially unregulated DTAP power supplies that plug straight into third-party batteries. These are infamous for frying chips in cameras, and it actually happened to me a couple times. I had to have the whole board replaced by Canon. Luckily, it came under the warranty. So with a little knowledge and a little preparation, you can essentially own a cinema camera and its accessories for very little money, much less than you actually think you would. I know people out there that keep all the raw cameras, that have a shelf with all the different camera bodies that they've owned. And I kind of think that's a waste because those cameras could be out there helping someone else shoot, helping them get their career off the ground, or helping them tell their stories. If you're interested in Canon specifically, I have a website called CanonMasterclass.com where I have a wide variety of camera courses for specific Canon cinema cameras, as well as a dozen other courses about lens choice, shooting outdoors, running a successful production company, getting clients, social media, a whole bunch of videos. Now they're available to buy individually for lifetime access, or you can stream the entire site for $14 a month. Check it out in the links, CanonMasterclass.com. That is my look at the cost of ownership, not the sticker price, but the actual cost of ownership of cinema cameras, specifically my Canon C200B. And I really encourage you to factor this in when you're looking at a new camera. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time.